In this video, we're going to talk about how to transition from door knocking to over-the-phone sales in solar. And welcome back to another video in the hottest solar channel on the planet. My name is Ivan and I help solar owners and reps or people just generally start and grow profitable sales orgs in solar. And so what I want to focus on this video is simply how to make the transition from door knocking to over-the-phone sales. And obviously, I'm gonna talk a little bit about why that's gonna be important. Now, some of you probably are thinking right now, well, why do I need to change what I'm doing if I'm already good at, doing door knocking, right? And so why would, or if I'm door knocking currently, working for somebody, working for a company, I'm a 1099, right? I'm an independent contractor. Why do I need to switch what I'm doing and do something completely different that's like I'm oblivious about? Right? I don't know anything about. And the real reason is because, legislations in different states, they will always change, right? Competition will always change, right? Solar is better in the winter and in the summer in certain states. But if you don't want to sell solar only during the summer and have a strong season during the summer, if you want to continue to do that all year round, the quickest way to ensure to do that is to be able to sell over the phone and build a remote sales team. Now, you can do it yourself, or you can learn how to do it yourself and then decide to hire other people to expand and grow, depending on your goals, obviously. Not everyone wants to do 50 plus or 100 plus sales a month, right? Some people are happy with, 15, 20 sales a month on their own, right? And so I don't judge, but at the same time, if you want to have the capacity to grow, even if you don't want to, just have the capacity to grow, it's much better, trust me. It is much better if you have that in your back pocket and you can focus on just selling over the phone and be comfortable. Like for example, a lot of states right now during the summer, it's gonna get super hot, right? And it's gonna get super hot and you don't wanna be outside, you don't wanna be outside in the heat, talking to homeowners, trying to get a few appointments or whatever, or even driving around in the heat. You can simply do the same thing as you're doing right now, but you could do it from the comfort of your home. You don't have to leave your home. You can do it from your bedroom if you want to, right? So that's the exact reason why I'm doing this. So if you want to make the switch from door knocking, and if you're used to door knocking, then obviously you're gonna have to accept that you will have to make some changes, right? So the first thing you need to do is you need to make sure that you have a plan, right? You cannot just get into over-the-phone sales and remote selling without a plan and treat it as, oh, okay, I'm just gonna use my solar knowledge and I'm gonna try and make the same thing, but convince people over the phone, or do the same thing but remote. They'll be able to see me. It's not the same. It is definitely not the same. I've had other videos on the channel where I talk about that, and I don't want to focus too much on that, but you have to have a plan. And what I mean by that is when you decide to switch from door knocking to over the phone sales, you got to worry about where your leads are going to come from, right? That's number one, right? Who's going to be setting all the appointments for you, because it's probably not going to be you, right? I don't recommend you to be the jack of all trades. If you're trying to build a business, you need to have different people at different stages of the process, right? If you're a closer, or if you want to be a sales trainer, then that's what you are. And you delegate and hire accordingly, right? So the first thing you want to do is you want to have a plan. And the plan is, where's my leads going to come from? Who's going to be calling those leads? What CRM am I going to use, right? That's going to be efficient enough. And then also, what script am I going to use, right? Am I going to use the same script as I've been using in the home, whether I'm selling over the phone? And the likelihood of you doing that and being successful is very, very slim, right? Because over the phone selling and or virtual selling, and then obviously in-home consultations, those are two completely different things, right? And if you treat it the same, you would get bad results, right? I mean, you can prove me wrong, but I've seen it time and time again where people just, they get into it and then they're like, oh, okay, well, that doesn't work. No, it's not that it doesn't work. It works. It works. We've done it. Other clients, of ours have done it, right? It works. And so the question then becomes whether it works, but how do you make it work, right? And I actually have an entire training course that talks about that. In the training, I talk about how to start a solar business from scratch, right? I don't know if this point of releasing this video, whether or not, we already have it out, but it's been in the works for months, and I promise you this is something absolutely amazing. And it basically shows you how to start and get from point A to point B, which is making no sales to making a bunch of sales, right? And building a successful business selling solar over the phone, and how to make the least amount of mistakes or no mistakes at all, right? That's why I wanted to put it together, and I've worked so hard to do it. So if there is any signs of it, you'll be able to find it in the description below. If there isn't, you can download the ebook, which is going to be in the description. That way you'll get in the email list and you'll be one of the first people to know about the release of this course. And I guarantee you it's mind-blowing, right? All right, the second thing you want to focus on when you're transitioning from door-to-door to over-the-phone selling is you need to make sure that you train daily. So if you're gonna have people around on your team, right? It doesn't matter how big your team is. Could be one person, two-man show, right? It doesn't matter. You need to instill a culture to where right before the start of your day, you start and get into training mode, okay? It doesn't have to be longer than an hour. Usually our trainings are about an hour, right? And you mix it up. You have training calls where you literally do just breakdowns of good calls, right? And sometimes bad calls. Like I have the 80-20 rule. So 80% of focus on calls that are good, that have gone good, and 20% showing people what not to do and why they lost the sale, right? Because it's very evident when you're recording your calls. Which leads me to my next point. You need to record your calls. If you're not recording your calls, doesn't matter whether you're doing over the phone or Zoom. I don't really like doing Zoom for various reasons, but if you're doing over the phone or any type of remote selling, actually, you need to have it recorded because you don't know what led you to the customer saying no. Most of the time, solar makes sense for people. So why didn't it make sense this one time, right? Is it you couldn't explain it well? Is it because of your tonality, your energy was down? Is it because you couldn't make sense of the investment? It could have been a lot of, is it because you confused the hell out of the homeowner, right? Could have been a lot of things. But if you don't have it on paper, right? Not on paper, but if you don't have it recorded, like you will suffer and your conversion rates will suffer, right? You cannot imagine having a team of people and you're trying to get them to do better, but you can't get them to do better because they don't have anything to show for it. So what are you gonna take? And you need to be able to take a call and literally like dissect it in front of everybody, so they see exactly what's going on. Kind of like you're learning to be a brain surgeon, right? You're not gonna just all of a sudden, start operating on people's brains. You gotta look at a master, right? You gotta look at someone who's good at doing this, right? See videos, see recordings of them doing it, and then maybe see it live as it's happening. Doesn't matter, right? But you won't get to operate on people's brains if you want to be a brain surgeon. Why would you treat it any different if you're a solar professional that's trying to sell over the phone? I'm doing these videos simply because I want to be able to revolutionize the solar industry, because I really do believe that this is an amazing industry right now that we're in, and it's the golden age of solar, and not a lot of people are capitalizing on that, and there's a lot of old school people in this industry. I'm trying to change that. I want to be able to sell solar in a very, very different way, which we are, but I want to be able to show other people how to do the same, because I really do believe it's a multi-million-dollar skill. It is truly life-changing. Until you get to doing this, you won't know what I'm talking about, right? It will be, once learned, the skill cannot be unlearned, if you know what I mean. And when you get to use it and apply it with your team, right, it is much easier to implement, than if you were to try and get people to join your team. Not to mention that it is way better to get someone to join a team that is different. They're just selling over the phone. Other than, like, if you think about your competition at different companies that have different approach and way of selling, right? And you show up and like, okay, all those companies are trying to teach people and show reps how to sell over the phone. I differentiate myself is that, hey, you don't need to leave your bedroom, dude. You can do it from your bedroom. You don't even have to come to an office, right? I could be in Florida, you could be in Utah. No one gives a damn where you are, right? You got a stable internet connection, you got a laptop, you got a phone, that's all you need, right? So, and that's how you stand out. But a lot of people don't think this way. So anyway, I hope with this video, I'm opening people's eyes maybe a little bit. That's my hope. That's my only hope. That's why I'm doing these free videos, and I'm so passionate about it. And the last thing I want to focus on is if you're transitioning from door to door to over the phone selling, you have to have a trainer. You have to have a trainer. I already talked about like daily training, but I didn't mention the trainer, right? It's not gonna be you. Well, actually it can be you. It doesn't have to be though. My recommendation is to hire somebody that's good at training, okay? Pay attention to what I just said. Hire somebody that's good at training. What do I mean exactly? Now I'll give you a very, very simple analogy. If you're an Olympic athlete that's been to 3 Olympic games, you've won gold medals and, you know, been a world champion, all that. That's not a guarantee that this same individual, this same athlete is gonna produce the same level athletes. Or that same athlete is gonna be able to coach other athletes as well, right? The fact that you're a superstar doesn't mean that you're gonna be a superstar in training, because there's a lot of other things that are involved, right? When training people that you need to take into account, like humility, the fact that you need to have not IQ but EQ, emotional intelligence, and understand how people vibe. Not every single one of your reps is gonna be motivated by the same thing, right? So you need to pay attention to that, right? And when you get someone who's experienced in doing this and that's not their first rodeo, it's gonna be 10 times better, okay? So my last thing will be to hire a trainer. Very, very, very important, okay? Again, that doesn't have to be, your trainer can be a rep also, but also you're gonna of course pay him a salary plus commissions. The reason being is because obviously, most of their time, maybe 50 to 60% of their time is gonna be going towards listening to people's calls and then coaching people even on a one-on-one basis, and maybe they will be able to take less calls on their own, right? And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, a good trainer is someone who has all those things that I just mentioned, and also they can get their point across in a 5th grader language. I've seen time and time again, people cannot get the point across. Like, dude, you don't know who's standing in front of you, right? You're talking all of these things, but you don't know who's standing in front of you. And so that's why you need to dumb it down when you're talking, when you train these people, right? And so I'm gonna leave you with this in this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a massive thumbs up. And also, if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, make sure you do by smashing the button down below. Again, I appreciate you watching all the way to the end of this video if you still are watching. And I wanna know I love you. And also, if the course has come out, check it out in the description below. If it hasn't at the time of releasing this video, then get on the email list to make sure you get all the updates and goodies when they come out. Appreciate you, and I'll see you again on the next video.